In a virtual press conference held earlier today, Trade and Industry Minister Chan Chun Sing said that a review will be carried out following the incident of the unauthorized clearing of Kranji woodland plot.
Expected to take 3 months, it will cover project management, supervision and execution, as well as inter-agency coordination. And leading this review is Permanent Secretary for Defence Development and Second Permanent Secretary for Communications and Information, Joseph Leong.
As Minister in charge of the Public Service, I have instructed all relevant agencies involved in land clearance projects to conduct an immediate check to make sure that their project supervision and implementation processes are in order, so as to avoid any repeat of the mistakes made.
Mr. Chan also said industrial developer JTC and the National Parks Board will also conduct their respective investigations into the clearance of the Kranji site.
JTC will conduct an internal review to check if their current processes were followed by both the public officers and the private contractors involved, and how they can better supervise the various agencies and qualified personnel as they implement the project. MParks will conduct investigations under the Parks and Trees Act and Wildlife Act and identify breaches, if any. So at this point in time, we will not make further comments on the ongoing investigations so as not to prejudice the outcomes.
National Development Minister Desmond Lee, who was also at the press conference, noted that a large-scale project like the Kranji site will be complex. So he urged parties to refrain from speculating on what may have happened until the facts are clearer.
There are many parties involved, the project management teams, the qualified person or QP, and the various consultants. There are also many technical agencies involved, weighing on various aspects during the planning and consultation process. We will conduct a thorough investigation and the findings will be made public when ready. And we will not hesitate to take the necessary action should any party be responsible.
JTC Chief Executive Tan Boon Khai acknowledged that JTC has overall responsibility of the site, adding, quote, "We do not run away from this responsibility. We will not and nor do we intend to."
Meanwhile, all development works on the site will continue to be suspended pending investigations by the authorities.
Here to share more is the Straits Times Science and Environment correspondent Audrey Tan. Audrey, you attended the virtual press conference. What did JTC say happened that led to the unauthorized clearing of the Kranji woodland?
Hi, so today a few things were mentioned during the briefing. A key one was that the authorities did acknowledge that the lapse had occurred in that land that was not yet supposed to be cleared was cleared, and this amounted to 4.5 hectares out of the total land area of 25 hectares. Secondly, JTC also clarified the timeline of the works. So I think just the images of the cleared Kranji area were first surfaced on social media last Sunday, and last Tuesday, JTC issued a statement saying that they had noticed the clearance in December, but satellite footage later showed that actually the works had started in March. So during the press conference today, JTC actually set up the timeline of events, which showed that yes, actually work for the whole area did start in March, but the clearance was supposed to be done on a very phased approach, so plot by plot. So the areas that were cleared in December, which were shown in the drone footage that has been making its rounds online, were actually cleared. These were actually land cleared outside of plots that were scheduled for land clearance. So they did clarify this during their briefing as well.
Audrey, I don't know whether you can give more information on something about the non-native weed that was found in that area as well. Did that lend to reasons why the woodland was cleared without authorization?
Okay, so that whole plot of land, it is a regenerated forest. It's not a pristine forest. Pristine forest means like a forest that has never been touched by humans, and there's really little areas like this left in Singapore. So the area there was actually scrubland from 2011. If you guys can remember, there used to be a railway between Singapore and Malaysia that was operating up until 2011 when Singapore got hold of the land back. So JTC said that because since 2011, the land has not been used by the railway and the site was not actively managed because of pending redevelopment works, we have lots of vegetation that sprouted up over the course of the past few years. There's a tree that is there. It's the dominant species there, according to JTC, and this is known as the Albizia tree. Albizia trees are non-native to Singapore, and they are known to be very fast-growing species. So this is the area, this is the kind of vegetation that is currently on the plot before it was cleared. The authorities have also said that because this site is not located near any sites of high conservation significance, an environmental impact assessment was not necessary.
Well, something that was also brought up in the press conference was what National Development Minister Desmond Lee said about the Environment Impact Assessment Framework, which will be, quote, enhanced. So, Audrey, what are those details and how will these enhancements prevent repeat incidents?
Okay, so I think he mentioned that there are 3 areas under the EIA framework that is going to be under review. The first one is that the government will be looking at developing an island-wide map of the various nature areas in Singapore and how they connect with each other. So to me, this is really significant because in Singapore, we are so small. We don't have much large hectares of land or forest left. But each plot of them is still significant, and ensuring that they can connect from one plot to another is important to help wildlife move from one forest patch to another. So this is one thing that's under review. Secondly, he also mentioned that they are reviewing whether it's better to have a centralized management of EIA consultants instead of having individual developers manage their own. And lastly, I think the government is also trying to see whether technology can be used in project management. But no real details yet for each of the review processes has been revealed yet, but yeah, I'll definitely follow up.
When it comes to redeveloping land and the environmental issues that come with it, do you think this incident is a pivotal moment in community engagement?
Well, I think this incident really shows the value of having eyes on the ground, because if not for the aerial footage that first surfaced on February 14, we probably would not have known about the erroneous clearing in the first place. And moreover, you know, this whole debate or this whole discussion on the Kranji plot comes after other high-profile incidents about nature in Singapore, whether it's the Clementi or Dover forest plots, and also the release of the Green Plan, which is not surprising why, you know, many people have their eyes on this issue. However, I do also think, based on the comments that I've seen on social media, that there's a lot of misinformation going around. One of it was about how people are calling the Kranji site as being a nature reserve. So, of course, this is not... not all forest plots in Singapore are the same. I think that's one thing that we should note. And secondly, I think the crux of this issue here would be the lapse in due process that is awarded. That should be done whenever development work is ongoing, to ensure that it's being done in a sensitive manner. But the government has given the assurance that, you know, steps are being taken to prevent such incidents from happening again. And also with the review of the EIA framework, I think it's something that it's a good move, and we'll just have to wait for more information to be available.